Kendall T, and this is Product of Our Environment Youth Empowerment Podcast. This is the place where we collaborate with like-minded individuals on ways where we can inspire and motivate the youth. And once again, we're back at your service. In today's episode on youth empowerment, we're going to talk about mental health, and I'll be joined by Ms. Shonna Tillman. Now, Ms. Tillman is a doctorate candidate where she is pursuing a degree in public policy and administration with a focus on economic development in rural communities. She is a certified life coach, a member of Black Girls Rock, and she has her own nonprofit organization called Operation I Am. So it's a lot of Black girl magic going on over there. Thank you for joining me today, Ms. Tillman. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good, good. Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Because the resume is long. So
Yes, I like to stay busy, so yeah, I'm never not sitting down. But as you said, I am a doctoral candidate at Mississippi State University. Currently working on my dissertation that focuses on Black women representation in local government. I want to focus in rural communities because that is where Black women are needed the most. So that's what my dissertation focuses on. I also have a nonprofit, like you said. It focuses on mental health awareness. Some people might get confused and think I'm a therapist, and I'm not. I am a strong advocate. So with our organization, we focus on partnering with licensed therapists and life coaches and other mental health advocates, trying to spread awareness in mental health, especially in the Black community, to find a way to break that stigma. One exciting project that we're working on now is that we're offering to pay for 6 counseling service for the Ottauquechee County residents here in Starkville and West Point and Columbus also. So hopefully we'll get that project off the ground by August. It's still a work in progress, but that's something that we're really excited about. I'm also a grassroots organizer. I love all things liberation, all things Black magic. It's a lot. I'm trying to get it all together without talking too much.
I got you. Okay. So before we get into the topic of mental health and the importance of it and all that good stuff, we got a section of the show where we call the icebreaker. Now, don't be scared now, because the icebreaker is, it's just a series of questions, where we ask people, the guests, just so people can get an insight as to who you are. So,
okay.
Ready, Ms. Tillman?
I'm ready.
All right, awesome. That's what's up. All right, so question number 1. All right, what is one of your favorite quotes of all time?
My favorite quotes of all time is going to have to be Matthew 6:33.
All right, spit it. Let us hear it.
Now, I don't want to misquote it because the Lord ain't gonna get me. So let me put it up real quick. The Lord is not gonna get me on today. We do not do misquote.
Said today's been a great day, so we don't get off track with it.
I got it saved in my notes on days that I need it. Okay, so Matthew 6:33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all things will be given to you as well. Right. Quoted from the Lord.
From the Lord. All right. All right. Question number 2. All right. What is your favorite animal and why?
Ooh, my favorite animal. Ooh, okay. Let me think. Okay, so I have 2.
All right, what you got?
My first one have to be an elephant because elephants are just dope and they don't forget anything. And I wish my brain was like that. So elephants are number 1 for sure. Mm-hmm. And number 2 have to be a dog because I have a dog and he's my first child. And dogs are just loyal. And dogs know when you need them. Like when I'm having a bad day, my dog comes and cuddles with me. He plays with me. Like he knows that I be needing that. So a dog would definitely have to be my second favorite animal.
I like that. For some reason, dogs get a bad rep.
No, I love my dog. He's bad, but I love him.
All right, number 3. All right, so if you had to sing karaoke, what song would you pick and why?
Beyonce, I Care, because the number 4 album is the best album that she ever produced. No skips. I can probably sing the whole album. Not tonight though, but yeah.
Okay. She rocking with the Beehive. Okay. Got you. All right, so that's all that we have for you as far as the icebreaker. So it wasn't that bad, was it?
No.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the topic at hand. As far as mental health, can you break it down and tell us exactly what is mental health and why should we take it seriously?
So when people ask that question about mental health, I always ask the question: when you're not feeling good, what do? You go to the doctor. Right. If you're gonna play a sport, what do you have to go do? You have to go get a physical. If your tooth hurt, what are you gonna do? You gotta go to the dentist. So why, when something mentally is going on, or you're like, hey, I'm not feeling like me, what's going on? Why don't we seek help for that? And that is basically, mental health is basically keeping everything aligned. Because if your spirit not right, then nothing else is gonna be right.
Okay, got you. So how can a person tell, like, say, for instance, like, I'm not aligned right now? Like, how can a person just can have that clarity to sense, like, hey, I'm not aligned right now. Like, something is up with me mentally I'm off. How should a person properly address that and seek help?
It's basically just understanding yourself. I know for me, I share my story all the time that when I was in undergrad, I went through a really dark moment in my life and I knew something was wrong. But the problem that I had was I was scared to reach out because of who my parents were in the community, where I stayed, and what people labeled me as. So it was like, if I go and say something's wrong with me, nobody's gonna care. They're gonna label me as crazy. And I didn't want to get that reputation, so I bottled all of that inside of me. And knowing that something was wrong, it just tumbled into something bigger and bigger and bigger until it got to the point where I was like, I can't live like this anymore and I have to get help. And it's crazy because when I said that I wanted to get help, I had no idea where to go. I had no idea what to do, but I was an education psychology major in undergrad, and I took a counseling class for my major, and my professor was like, for your grade, you have to go to counseling. Mm-hmm. And if she wouldn't have said that, I would have never went. I didn't even know we had a counseling center. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. But when I went, I told my counselor what happened. Like the first day we met, I broke down because I was at that breaking point where I had nowhere to go. I had no idea what to do. And I told her what was going on. And from January to April, well, I even saw her after the semester was over. So from January to June, she worked with me. She helped me get out of the things that I was going through. And then like when I was going through it, and I was like, well, I wonder how many more people are going through this. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing how we battle so much stuff and we think that we have to keep it bottled inside, especially as a Black community, because we are told that we have to be the strongest, we can't break, we're not allowed to be weak, so we bottled all that stuff inside. So I especially think that, especially in the Black community, when you feel like something's wrong, even if you're sad, you just have to be like, well, let me go talk to a therapist just to make sure everything's clear. Just like a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. Like, let me just go make sure everything's okay.
Okay, so interesting thing that you mentioned there is like, hey, go seek a therapist. Well, you know, in the Black community, like reaching out to a therapist, that might not be something financially capable for an individual. So what are some other alternatives that an individual can do if they're not financially able to, you know, seek a therapist? Or are there opportunities for an individual who might not be financially able to have a therapist?
It is definitely opportunities. Like for instance, my organization, we're now starting this project where we're funding therapy sessions for individuals. And one of our personal goals is by the beginning of 2023, that we're able to take care of half of Mississippi by getting them that counseling service that we need. Because again, therapy is a luxury. Everybody can get to it. A lot of therapists do not take Medicaid anymore. So it's basically just finding organizations and finding therapists who's able to work with you. I even know for me, being a college student, like I'm a grad assistant, and if anybody's ever been a grad assistant, you know we don't make no money, like none at all. And I knew that I needed a therapist during this time of this doctoral journey. And I found Loveland Foundation, and they offer free counseling service. And I signed up for that. And now I see my therapist for free until August. And that gives me more time to save up money because that's something that I want to continue doing. So it's basically just going out there and researching. But then again, some people don't know where to go. Right. So shameless plug, Operation I Am is here for you because we have a page full of resources. If you want to reach out to somebody but don't know where to start, you can reach out to us and we will find those therapists for you. We will work something out for you to make sure that you can get the help that you need. And then even sometimes people don't even want a therapist. They just want to vent, or they want to find different avenues to vent. And then that's when you start discovering, what do you like? What do you do that feels like an escape? Is it dancing? Is it poetry? Is it making music? Is it going for a walk, run, going kickboxing? So it's basically just finding those different avenues that makes you be like, this is it. This is gonna make me feel good, and just sticking with that.
Okay. So tell us, how has therapy made an impact on your life, in a sense to motivate others to say, hey, I really need to get up off this sofa and seek a therapist?
Therapist has been amazing. My mentor, when I first got my mentor, she told me I cannot pour from an empty cup. And then she said, if you try to pour from an empty cup, what's gonna happen? Nothing. So that's something that always stuck with me. So when I'm feeling empty, I know like, hey, well, I know I can go to my therapist. She's gonna tell me what it is, whether I want to hear it or not. And she's going to give me the tools that I need to survive until our next visit. Especially during this journey, I got diagnosed with high functioning anxiety. And if anybody's a college student, I'm pretty sure everybody has anxiety, right? So going through anxiety and learning how, like figuring out what triggers my anxiety and learning how to control it before I have these panic attacks has been very helpful. And she has helped me tremendously through that process, to where now if I have a project coming up for school, or if my calendar is full and I don't see a rest day in my future and I feel like I'm in a panic, she gave me those tools to be like, okay, well, this is what you need to do to calm down. This is how we're going to tackle the week. And once this week is over, you will see me next week and we'll talk about it. So I always push therapy, and I always push finding a good friend. Everybody got friends, but don't nobody have a lot of good friends. So once you find the good friend, or even if it's a pastor who's going to pour into you good things and not just scriptures, definitely cling on to them to get the help, or not the help, but to get the advice that you need to keep pushing forward.
Okay. Right. Okay. So that information was so insightful. Like there's so much insightful information. And with that, that's all that we have for you. Once again, we thank you for joining us today, Ms. Tillman, sharing your perspective and your wonderful, wonderful insight. So wrapping up on mental health, can you let viewers know what you have coming up, where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff, and where can they learn more about your organization?
Yeah, so this Sunday I will be in Indianola for the Breaking Barriers event. I'm sure you have the flyer for that, right?
I do. Yeah.
I'm excited to meet you. But I will be there Sunday, just sharing resources and sharing my story. And then we also have a website, which is www.operationIam.com. And our Instagram is OperationIam_2. And I forgot, excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me know if I'm taking too much of your time.
No, you do you.
But with Operation I Am, one of our biggest things, and I don't know how it slipped my mind, but one of our biggest things is that we allow individuals without to share their story without sharing their name. Because again, that was something that I struggled with. So if you go to our website and you go to the blog section, you will read some of the most incredible, triumphant stories from individuals who have shared those stories with us. And some of those people have even reached out to us, and we were able to help them get the help that they need. But I highly encourage everybody to go read those stories. If you want to share your story, you can. It's completely anonymous. Like, I don't even know who sends them. But then if you need that extended help for us, we have that contact information on our website where you can reach out to us and we'll reach back out to you and we'll form a partnership.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again for joining us, and thank you guys for watching. Once again, this has been Product of Our Environment Youth Empowerment Podcast, the place where we collaborate with like-minded individuals on ways to inspire and motivate the youth. Until next time, peace. All right, thanks for filming.
No problem.